أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين اللهم اجعلنا منهم من الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر آمين يا رب العالمين ثم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي ربي زدنا علما اللهم فقهنا في الدين اللهم انفعنا بما علمتنا وعلمنا ما ينفعنا وزدنا علما اللهم ثبتنا عند الموت بلا إله إلا الله آمين يا رب العالمين. So Surah Nuh Ayat 25 and 26 inshallah we will do it. So let's start. So it's ayah number 25 is Mimma khatwi atihim ughriqu fa'udkhilu nara falam yajidu lahum min dunillahi ansara. Mimma, now min over here is giving the reason. This is called min taliliya. So it will be because of their khatiyatihim. Khatiyati is like their few intentional mistakes or their major sins. So because of their few major sins, ughriqu, so they were drowned, fa'udkhilu, and they will made and to enter nara, in hellfire, in fire, falam yajidu, and they did not find lahum, for themselves, min dunillahi, other than Allah, ansara, any helper. So now grammatically we can see this ayah. So min, as I said, this min is called min taliliya, and this ma over here is ma zaida, and then khati'ati, this is jar in status. So basically this is the ism of im, like this is the ism majroor. This ma is not a majroor over here. So this is ma zaida, and we see some example in the Quran Pak when this ma came in between jar majroor and it put a distance between them. We learned that jar majroor are always side by side, right? That this is our basic learning. But we will see today that even jar majroor can have long distance. Sometimes this ma can come in between and it can create distance. Another example of is that fabima rahmatin min Allahi. So fabima rahmatin. So because of, again, this ba over there is ba sababiya, and ma came in between, and rahmatin. So that is basically is a majroor. So same thing happen over here. So we have min taliliya over here. Ma is ma zaida, and this ma zaida basically came for tawqid, meaning bringing the emphasis. And then we also know that ma is this is ma nafiya, so ma comes for negation too, negation, but refutation basically. So this ma is very emphatic and it creates refutation. So mimma khatiyatihim, and then khatiyati. So so min is min taliliya, ma is ma zaida, khatiyati is a majroor over here, And then we have him. So this is our mudaf ilayhi, right? So we have idafa fragment over here. So because of their few major sins. Now khatiyati, we can see this word khata. So fail is khata over here. And khata yahtu, this is bab nasara. And then ukhtu and khatwan fahuwa khatin, this is one version. And even another is khatiya yahtau, and then khatan and khatiyatan or khatiyatun, we can say. So this is bab samia over here. So this is khatiya tin, and then khatiyati. So that becomes a plural. This is our sound plural. And one thing about this sound plural is that plural can be of two kinds. Plural can be two kinds. We know that sound plural and which is our pattern, like combination. So una, ina combination, or atun, atin combination. They are called sound plural. Then we also have broken plural, right? So if an ism can have both of them, some ism, we can see they have sound plural and they have broken plural as well. So when that happen, that ism has sound plural as well as broken plural. So then this broken plural is considered jamu kasra, which means like it gives the meaning of abundance. And basically it is, oops, where does that go? Okay, so we have broken, right? And broken plural. So let me write again. What do we have here? Okay, I can explain here. So we were saying that plural can be of two kinds. Plural can be it is delaying again, even in writing. So plural can be of two kinds. This iPad is giving me a problem these days a lot. So we have sound plural. Wow. Yeah, it's still better. See, so annoying. So we have sound plural and we have broken. And then in broken, when ism has sound and broken both, then what happened? This sound is taken as jamu killa. What does jamu killa mean? Like few in number. And which is like 3 to 10, we can think. And when it takes a broken plural, then it will be considered jamu kasra, and which means that 11 to onward. So that means a lot, right? So this is what it is. So now over here, it is khati'ati, right? So this is sound plural is used, even though it has khataya as a broken plural too, right? So that's why we are translating over here that only because of their few mistakes, their few major sins. And then we have the word ughriqu. Okay, let me explain this part first. So min khatiyati, it is more going over here. What is that? We are saying this ma is jar majroor muqaddam, right? Everyone is clear, jar majroor muqaddam. Otherwise, it could be had said that ughriqu mimma khatiyatihim, right? That was possible. Ughriqu mimma khatiyatihim, drowned, they were drowned because of their few mistakes. So that could be the order, right? But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bring mimma, right, before, which is jar majroor muqaddam, giving it tawqid. And then it could be used min khatiyatihim, right? So ma could be removed from the picture, but ma is brought over here too, right, to make it more emphatic. Tawqid is over here, and this ma is also giving the refutation. So it maybe like after that someone can say, oh, they were drowned maybe because of some other reason. So, or because of the dua of Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam, right? So because this is the understanding taken after that maybe Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam made this dua and that's why it happened. So basically Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is refuting over here that no, their drowning happened only because of their own mistakes. And this is also the classical scholar says that that was not the dua of Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam at all. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already decided and planned for them this punishment because of their being so stubborn, and because they were not budging at all, and because of that shirk they were doing. And they even says that that was the planning of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that's why from last 40 years even the mother were not able to bear the pregnancy. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and there were draft and all that stuff already giving the clue that something big is going to happen, because this is the sunnah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that he gives a small punishment before he bring a big punishment, so people can open their eyes and they can learn lesson from the small test, and they can be saved from the big test. But that didn't happen in that case, right? And then as I was saying that from last 40 years the mothers were not able to bear pregnancy. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has decided that kids are the innocent kids shouldn't be drowned, even though if they drowned they would have gone to Jannah, right, because they are innocent. But still Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decided that they should not have babies with them. And it says that if there were babies, they died out of natural their natural death. So there wasn't any they were not part of this punishment, subhanallah. So that shows that they were drowned only and only because of their own mistakes, because of their major sin. And this ma, as I said, this is refutation. So one refutation it is doing that it didn't happen because of Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam's dua. And even some says that after that some astrologers they kind of said that, oh, this great flood happened because of some calculation of stars. So over here this ma is refuting basically, right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala already refuted any kind of doubt that people can think that this destruction happened because of any other reason. No, it happened only and only because of their own major sins. Then ughriqu, So we know gharaka yaghruqu, I think. And gharkan fahuwa gharikun, right? And this is u and e is telling us that this is majhul, right? So they were drowned. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we know that any negative thing we do not associate with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? So out of respect. So ughriku, they were drowned. Fa udkhilu, and this fa, if we remember difference between summa and fa, right? Summa is we don't know after how long, but fa is kind of immediately, right? So they were drowned and immediately they enter a fire. And scholar says that even some scholar was saying that this drowning and this entering in the hellfire, or not hellfire, but rather any fire, because this naran is common over here. So they enter in a special fire, and this fire is telling right away, immediately. And it could be side by side. Some scholar is saying that it was happening side by side. They were drowning, and at the same time they were tasting the burning too. Subhanallah. So these are the implication over here. Naran is common. So when some ism is common, one reason could be that it is magnifying that thing. So this nar is not any ordinary fire, rather it is very kind of branded or specially created for them. So this is what it is referring to. Then falam yajidu. So we know this fa is ataf over here. Lam is harfu jazimatul mudariya. Yajidu is fi'lun mudari'un majzumun, and file is hum. And lahum is our MBF over here. Min dunillahi is min is harfu jar, duni is samajrur, then dunillahi is our idafa too. So this is all our MBF and idafa, and ansara is our mafulun bihi over here. Okay, fa'udkhilu was our fi'lun mudari majhul, and it's naib file. Remember we say naib file, right? So naib file is hum over here, and same thing is ughriku and fa'udkhilu. So both are majhul over here, and they have naib file. Okay, and then about this yajidu. So wajada yajidu wajdan fahuwa wajidun and mawjudun. So this is a bab daraba over here. Then we have nasara yansuru nasran nasirun nasirun. So interesting thing about ansar is that ansar is the plural, and it has the nasirun and nasir, like this is the plural for both of these isms. So nasirun ansarun or nasirun ansarun. So why this ansar is used, inshallah we will see in detail in the slide. Okay. And then I put some more example over here for this Jamu Killa. So wazkurullaha fi ayyamim ma'dudat. So remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for few. So this is less than 10, right? So 3 to 10 is ma'dudat. So instead of these Jamu Killa is used over here, and this is ayah about like after Hajj, people can stay 2-3 days, and some even if they leave earlier, it's not a big deal, right? So this is basically Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying these are the ayyam of Hajj. Then over here it says zalika bi annahum qalu lan tamassana an-naru illa ayyaman ma'dudat. Now over here this is Surah Al-Imran, and Surah Al-Imran we see that as compared to Surah Baqarah, in Surah Baqarah lot of crimes of Bani Israel are explained over there, right? So Bakra is very intensive. Many crimes are mentioned over here. But in Surah Al Imran, not many are mentioned. So we can see that over here in Surah Al Imran, they are saying, these Bani Israel are saying that, yes, hellfire may touch us, but that would be only ayyamam ma'dudat, very few days. But over here, this is Surah Bakra, it says, Lan tamassana naru illa ayyamam ma'dudat. So they said that, okay, we are pretty messed up over here, right, in Surah Bakra. So they said, yes, we might go hellfire for a little bit longer, right? So over here, the number could be 11:2 onward. So this is 11:2 onward. And in Surah Al Imran, it is only few, like maybe 3 to 10. Okay, then we already see that this khatiya, this is bab samiya, khatiya yakhtau khat'an and khatiyatan. So these are major sins that are worthy of punishment. Intentional crimes, doing something wrong and thinking it as a good. So this is these kind of sins that we are thinking that, okay, we are doing something good, but actually we are doing some crime. So this is scary, right? Sometimes we just having our own type of ibadah, right? And thinking that, okay, we are doing something good, we are doing ibadah, but actually it could be like taking us to the other side, right? So that's why we need to be very careful and stick to the sunnah. And then this word can be found in family 5. So takhattwa, again, mistakes, sins, and family 4, we can found that word. And then the example of doing something wrong and thinking that it is good is like kuffar used to do naked tawaf, right? So they were thinking that they are doing something spiritual, something nice, something good, but it was totally wrong, right? And another narration about Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam is said that once there was a man taking his child on his shoulders, like he was holding him on his shoulder, and he was passing by Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam, and he said to his child that look at this man and stay away from this person. He is gonna mislead you. So the boy said that, okay, put me down. So father put him down, and then he just picked up a rock and threw on Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam. And some scholars says that that was the time when Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam made this dua. And but this has it is said that it is very weak narration. It doesn't look like that is the case. But this child was appreciated by the father. So, and even father, when he was saying that to stay away from that person, he was thinking that he's doing good. He's teaching something good to his child, right? And the child, when he threw the stone on Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam, so the man must be very proud of him. So they were thinking that they were doing something good, but how wretched or evil that thing was, right? So basically this is the khatiya. And then we have different pronunciation of this word. We can say khati'at, which is over here. And then we can also say khatiyat with ya, and it also have the pronunciation khatiyat with shadda. And then we have khataya, which is broken plural. So stronger plural is khataya, and that means sins in abundance. Then khatiyatu yawmin is a day when you miss something, like every day you are doing something in a routine way, or you are visiting someone. Okay, this is your must must thing to do every day, right? But one day you missed it, so that will be khatiyatu yawmin, so missing day, or the something that you missed in a day. Then different words are used for mistakes, or like sins. So the words in Quran Pak are used: lamam, junahun, ijrami, ismun, hinsun, hauban, huban, and khata'an, sayyi'atan, and zambun. So these are the words in Quran Pak used for evil deed, or for mistakes, or something like that. And khatiyat, I think that is the stronger one over here, and all have different like shades of meaning. Then I put some dictionary meaning over here, and that is very interesting read. So you guys, I'm gonna read it. It says khatiya yahtau. So basically this is bab khatiya yahtau. So bab samiya yasmau, to be mistaken, to commit an error, make a mistake. Then in family 2 we can find, and it would be meaning to charge with an offense. Incriminate, declare guilty. So all this meaning over here. And then the interesting thing is akhta'a fa'lahu, meaning his omen was wrong, or his expectation do not come true, are not fulfilled. So kind of giving again the meaning of missing over here, right? And then it says that khatiyatun is plural, and then khataya is like in abundance, like, so blunder, slip, fault. So all these you guys can read through. Okay, use of min, which kind of I already explained. So min is harfu jar, right? Min can be used for amazement. Min ta'ajjubiya, for ta'ajjub, right? It can be used. Min can give the meaning of because. And min can be min tab'idiya, meaning giving the meaning of some, right? So min can be like used in many different ways. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if we take it as a min of amazement, or min ta'ajjub, then it is like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is shocked and amazed that they were told to fix few major sins, right? But the list was not very long, right? So they were just told that they can fix their few major sins, and shirk was one of them. But they failed to amend their ways and made themselves worthy of severe punishment, wrath, and anger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So what were their major sins? Number 1, replacing iman with falsehood, right? So they replaced their iman and took these idols, these taghut instead. And number 2, rejection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and his Rasul. So they just rejected Tawheed and Risala, basically. Lesson for us: do not overlook our small sins, these small sins can lead us and open the doors of major sin, right? Sometimes we take our like small sins. Oh, this is just small sin. I always pray Salah and I do all this charity and everything. So these small sins, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive. But this is not the case, because these small sins can lead to a major sin, or even these small sins, they can uh, uh, make a big impact. For example, is these snowflakes, how little they are, right? But when they pile up, how hard is when we are removing the snow out of our driveway, right? It's very heavy. It's very tiresome job to do it, right? So we can think that way, that these small sins can pile up, and they can lead us to the major sins. So that's why we never look over our mistakes. And as a Muslim, we shouldn't feel confident that we will be free from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's punishment. This is our delusion when we say that he is Rahim and he will forgive, right? But this is not the case. He said that he is just. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is just too, right? So he is going to deal everyone with his just. We need to keep that in our mind. So it's not like we can just live however we live, and since we have Iman, so we will be all good. So that is wrong thinking if we have. Zamakhshari says that to stay away all kind of sins, not only shirk. Just believing but not acting accordingly will be no benefit. So just having a Muslim name is not ticket to Jannah, right? Okay, so then about now that was our min, and now about ma. So ma, we know that ma could be ma masdariya. Ma can come for tawqid. Ma can be ma mausula, right? Ma can be ma zaida, and ma can be used for nafi. So over here, it is used for refutation. Refutation, as I said, that some astrologer thought that great flood happened due to some stars movement or calculation. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is already declaring it by bringing jar majroor muqaddam, and this ma is for tawqid over here, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, refuting that this disaster, this punishment came only and only because of their major sins. Then the word khatiyat. Khatiyat, we know that these are few intentional mistakes. And why we are saying few? Because this is Jamu Killa, right? And shirk is not as sajda to idols, but it's a set of attitude which can lead to major sins or major mistakes. And these major mistakes can be good enough to destroy the whole nation or individual. And this ayah is, I think, in Surah Baqarah, it says, Bala man kasaba sayyi'atam wa ahatat bihi khatwiyatuhu fa'ulaika ashabun nar hum fiha khalidun. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that whoever are evil and his sins has surrounded him, then those are the companion of hellfire. So basically, when we earn sayyi'at, we did some sins, and these sins can surround us, right? So basically, this is the idea over here. Someone's problem is just someone's problem is just one kind of evil deed. So okay, if we think that okay, I'm all good, but just this one deed, one like act which is really hard for me to change, right? And that happens. maybe someone is into backbiting. So whenever they have phone call, they do nothing, just talk about other people. So if someone think that, okay, this is fine, as long as I'm praying and all that stuff I'm doing, so this is just one problem, but I cannot get rid of it, it's really hard. But no, we have to kind of fix that mistake, because it's saying that our sayyi'at can surround us, right? So so this crime can surround him, own him, envelop him, invaded him. We think that we do not commit lot of sins, just one bad habit, one sin which I cannot get rid of. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that their sin can get hold of them, and they are the people of hellfire. So ultimate mistakes, not fixing them. So if we have some really bad habit and we are not even trying to fix it, some attitudes, some behaviors had to be amended, right? And we think that, oh, it's hard, I cannot amend. They can lead us to serious crime. And then we see in our young age some kind of attitude, like being ungrateful, right? So they are like, alhamdulillah, they are so blessed, especially when we are living in North America. Our kids are so privileged, right? But when we see their behavior is not any close to being grateful. So after one thing, they want next, right? And their enjoyment does not have any end. So they are always wanting more and more. They get bored so easily. When they are bored, they want to go to outside, they want to shop, right? And then shopping does not have any limit, right? Always complaining. So these attitudes need to be fixed. And how we can fix them? They can be fixed only by the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by the Quran, right? So only if we know all these ayat that are talking about it, right? And like why we need to be grateful, right? Why like we need to bring our kids basically to the Quran, because Quran, the words of Allah, and our deen is the only thing that can put a leash on us, on our nafs, right? So this is basically literally my experience, that when really you get understanding of the Quran, the change happen only that time in you. Otherwise, no one can change. I was the person like, no one can tell me what to do. But now Quran and the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has really put me in place. So this is how it is, that we need to bring our young generation closer to Quran, so they understand Quran, and inshallah, it will bring change in them. So being grateful is a really great blessing. Then in this ayah it says, beautiful ayah over here, Wallazina iza fa'alu. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about believers. Wallazina iza fa'alu fahishatan. So when they do fahisha, so some indecent act happen from them, aw zalamu anfusahum, or they just wrong themselves, some evil thing happen from them by mistake. Zakarullah. So what do they do right away? Zakarullah. So they remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Fastaghfaru, and they seek forgiveness. Li zunubihim, about their sins, for their sins. Wa may yaghfiru zunuba, and they know that no one can forgive their zunub illallah, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Walam yusiru. This is the punchline over here. وَلَمْ يُصِرُّوا عَلَى مَا فَعَلُوا وَهُمْ يَعْلَمُونَ. And they are not stubborn about it. So we are talking about that one act that we cannot get rid of, right? So it is so inbuilt in us, but we need to just do something about it, because this is the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that believer, they are not yasurru, they are not stubborn on their deeds. So when they know, when they realize that this is their mistake, this is their problem, then they need to fix it. We cannot just continue and go on with this mistake in our life. So beautiful ayah for us to ponder on. Then another beautiful ayah, I really love this ayah. It says, "Innamat tawbatu alallahi lillazina ya'maluna su'a." So only tawbah is ordained on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So subhanallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself is saying that I have ordained tawbah on myself. For who? Lillazina, then it says. For who? Lillazina ya'maluna su'a. Those who do some evil deed bijahalatin, out of ignorance. So yes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala know that we are going to fall short of, we're gonna fall prey of shaitan, right? So shaitan gonna easily make us fall into evil sins. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, but my tawbah is like I have made compulsory tawbah for those people, forgive them or turn to these people in forgiveness. And who are they? Summa yatubuna min kareeb. So jahala, out of jahala, the su is happened, the evil is happened, the bad deed happened, but then yatubuna min kareeb. So then right away what they do? Yatubuna, they do tawbah min kareeb. So kareeb is like it's patron of fa'il. So like immediately. Fa'ulaika, so they are yatubullahu. So then Allah Ta'ala turned to them alayhim, in repentance. Wa kana Allahu aliman hakima. So Allah Ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordained tawbah for those people who repent right away when they do some evil deed. Then it says, وَلَيْسَتِ التَّوْبَةُ, and now Laysa came, right? So tawbah is not for them. يَعْمَلُونَ السَّيِّئَاتِ. Now see, over there was su, singular, right? Over here is sayyiat. So they are keep doing sayyiat, but not repenting. Hatta, until iza hadara ahadahumul mautu. The maut came to them. And then they are saying, Qala inni tubtul an. Now I seek forgiveness. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, Walallazina yamutuna wahum kuffar. They didn't die, or they will not die, but as a kafir. Right? Wahum kuffar is the hal over here. So they have died, but in the hal of kuffar. So they are kuffar. Ulaika atadna lahum azabun alima, and azabun alim is prepared for them. So very scary ayah. So that's why whenever some khata happen from us, right away we need to repent. And we are not repenting in a way that I'm repenting now, but I will do it again, right? Because this is my habit. I can't stop. Then this tawbah is not going to be accepted. Tawbah needs sincerity, right? So from our sincere heart, at least we are going to think that, okay, I will try not to do it again. It happened. We can ask again Allah's forgiveness, but at first place, that should not be in our head that I'm going to do it again anyway. Then as we think that we are Muslim, we are all good, so we are people of Jannah because we have Iman, right? But look at this ayah over here. It says, Ya ayyuhallazina amanu, O believers. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not talking to kuffar, not talking to munafiq, but he is talking to amanu, those who have believed. Ku is over here, is a fail amar. So basically we say waqina azabanna, right? So this is waqa. Waqa, waqa'a yaqiu, I think. So this is bab waqa yaqiu, bab samia. Sorry, bab daraba. And then ku, this is the, if we do amar, so waqa'a, waqa yaqi. So this is waqa basically, but we're gonna say waqa and yaqi, right? And then when we go to our anta, it will be taqi, right? And now I removed the sign of mudariya. I removed this like the ending, right? Because this is weak. And now what I left with? Ki. And now when antum, it will be ku, because waw is over there, right? For as a file. So basically this is what it is. So ku mean you all safe, and we know this word wakina zabana, right? So ku, you all safe, anfusakum, yourself, wa ahlikum, and your family, naran, from hellfire, waquduha an-nas wal hijara, and its fuel is what? People and hijar, stones. Alayha malaikatun ghilazun shidadun. So this is very scary. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that the keeper of hellfire, the guard of hellfire, they are very like stern and like very, what does that say, is harsh. They are very harsh and severe. They are not like the people that we're gonna look and we will see any goodness or any pleasant feeling in our hearts. So they are very harsh in their look even, and in their behavior. So ghilazun shidadun la ya'suna allaha ma amarahum wa yafaluna ma yu'marun. So they do not have any mercy. They are not gonna spare anyone. They just do whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told them to do. So now we can see who are the addressee, amanu, and we are told to save ourselves from hellfire. We think that we have iman and we are good, but no, look over here what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying. He's saying that we need to save ourselves. So we need to take every act of us so seriously, and we are not like overlooking our sins basically. Okay. Okay, now over here about okay. So ugriku, the word ugriku, we know this is gharaka, and gharaka means drowned or disappear. And this word, this phrase is used, gharaka fil bilad, he disappeared in the city. So that is expression is used for gharaka. And we know that this ugriku is our fil majhul over here. And another kira, it says that they they recite it as a gharraka. So and we know that this shadda is giving the implication of over and over, right? So basically it is like they were drowned over and over. They were dipped back and forth. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, I will cause them drown over and over. And passive is used instead of saying because of their mistakes, we drowned them. We drowned them. So passive is used. So they were drowned by who? By Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but it is not mentioned over here because we do not associate any negative act to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it's kind of left as a mystery over here. When we want to tell who did it, we use active. But if we want to keep it secret, then passive is used. And passive has one more implication. It can also be used to express that the task was super easy. For example, if I say, okay, do this favor to me. So I'm asking any one of you, please do this favor to me. And you say, done. So meaning you are saying that consider it done, right? So look like super easy. So this is basically the classical scholars are saying that this is it meant over here. That's why passive is used over here. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even in other places in the Quran, it is says that it is really easy for me to punish, right? So we shouldn't be in delusion that he is Rahim and he cannot, he is Rahim and we can't take advantage of his mercy. He said, I can replace the entire nation and bring others like useful people at their place, and it is all easy for me. He says, Wakana dhalika alallahi yasira. So it is very easy for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that he can replace or punish any nation. So basically this passive ugriku and udkhilu is used that this task is very easy for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So ugriku faudkhilu nara, fire, sorry, it's saying that first drowned, so they will be drowned first, or they were drowned first, and then they would enter hellfire, meaning the punishment in the grave. So this is one implication. Even though their graves were water, still they will taste azab of fire in their graves. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not need special preparation between the drowning and fire. We can't lit fire in the water, right? But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, due to his ultimate authority, he can do whatever, right? He need to just say kalmai kun and it will happen. So he does not need all this preparation that first they are drowned, so let them heal and then he gonna put them in hellfire. So this is not the case with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he basically the scholars are saying that they were tasting drowning and burning at the same time. The Haq says that they experience drowning and burning side by side by the Qudra of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, lessons for us. Don't be persistent on any kind of mistakes, sins. Think of any sins as small rather. You know, my this iPad is giving me such a hard time in typing and everything. So I can see that so many typos over here. So just please excuse me for all these blunders here. Okay, so don't be persistent on any kind of mistakes. So rather, when we commit any small sin, we need to repent on it right away and try to get rid of it immediately, and at least come in the realization and start a process how you can get rid of. For example, very easy thing is if someone is like, when we call someone and we easily fall into backbiting, so what we can do, maybe we can avoid that person with who you can easily fell into backbiting, right? Or in general, we can just limitize our phone calling, right? So there are always ways that how we can get rid of any mistake. In our worldly sense, someone drowned, let them recover and then burn. But no, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not need all this process. He is above and beyond from any process, right? Scholar says that they might have tasted drowning and burning at the same time when some calamity befall on some nation or on some individual. We make comments that this earthquake or tsunami or this flood or this tornado came due to these people's crime or their sins. But did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed this news to us? No, right? So then we have no, this is not our place to say anything on behalf of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is totally wrong. And we do that so oftenly, right? So we need to avoid that because that is the ilmul ghaib. So why some punishment came to some people, and Allah knows, right? That is his hikmah, whatever is happening on the earth. So this is ilmul ghaib. So we should not be opening our mouth saying that because these people were messed up and that's why it happened. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in Quran Pak, yes, we can take it. And still, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling that these people were messed up and they were drowned, so we are not kind of mocking at them or doing anything. Rather, we are taking lesson from us. So from them, so then we are not messed up like them, right? So that's why these stories are over there, not to mock anyone, right? So this is not our place to make any comment. So only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can say about any punishment that it has occurred due to some crimes of some individuals or some nation, but it's not our place. Hadith says that when people are drowned in sins, then there are more natural disasters. So this is kind of sunnah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that he bring more natural disaster to places when people are drowned in the sin. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala want us to fix our ways and mend our ways. So he want us to taste small punishment so we can mend our ways before any big disaster, big punishment comes. But we can't say who, okay, because then when some natural disaster happen, many people, even kids and many other people who might not be sinful, right? They might not be part of whatever happen in that town, right? But they are kind of died with them. So we cannot say that they died because of their sins or because of any crime, because maybe this disaster or this punishment could be punishment for some people, but it could be shahada for other people, right? So think that way, and that's why we should not be making any comment. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks in the Quran Pak with the position of authority, right? So that's why we see that he used like very tough language for some people, right? Or some nations, but he is Rab, he is lower, right? He can use it. For example, if I'm talking to my younger child and he or she or he did something wrong, right? And I'm kind of rebuking that child, and then my elder son or daughter try to rebuke that child at the same time, right? So what should be my reaction? Like, this is not this child place. I'm the mother. I can rebuke that child, but not the elder brother or sister. So basically, this is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the Lord. He is the king, right? He is the Rab. he can say whatever he want to say, or he can use the harsh language, but this is not our place, right? He can make verdict against some people. He can make comment against some people. He can call someone kafir, munafiq, zalim, fasik, right? These are the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He can use them, but not us. We cannot call anyone fasik or fajir or munafiq or kafir, right? So unfortunately, we use these words for people, but we shouldn't. The example is that in Surah Muzammil, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talking about these disbelievers, that how he will chain them or burn them and feed them with a food that will choke them, right? But at the same time, like he told us, talking to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he said that do sabr and overlook their comments and their like their mistakes, whatever they are making, right? So he always told Prophet to have sabr. And another example is Hazrat Musa alayhi salam. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talk like very harsh words for Pharaoh, but when he sent Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, he said that, okay, talk to him nicely, right? So because he is Rab, so he can do whatever, but we have our limits, right? So we need to be soft. And then Sira example is that, once the group of Christian from Najran, they visited Medina, and because they want to talk to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam about Islam or whatever. But it says that even during their travel, they already have made up their mind that they are not going to believe, they are not going to accept Islam, but they were just going to talk and talk to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So they were Christians, right? And what does Christian say? Nauzubillah, they say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taken a son, right? And they are going to stay in Masjid Nabwi. And I don't know for how long. And they were the scholar of their deen, right? So they are going to do their ibadah in that Masjid Nabwi. And what would be their ibadah? All shirk, right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allowed Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to like accommodate them in Masjid Nabwi. So this is a great example that how we should treat people, and how like even prophets were told to be soft with the people. And unfortunately, we take any ayah of Quran, Pak, and we start judging people, especially when we hear any ayah of munafiqeen or anything. So whatever, like in our head, we are just looking at people, right? Yeah, this person, yes, this ayah is talking about that person. So we do not reflect on ourselves, rather we just try to label people, and we think that, okay, these people has the attitude of munafiq and kafir, right? So this is totally wrong. We need to fix that attitude. Okay, then this is a classical tafsir over here, and what I want to highlight over here is that Allah subhanahu, it is said that this the majhul, the ugriku, is used for sahula over here, because he is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is al-mukhtar and wahid and kahar. Fatafa al-ma'u alayhim jami al-ardi sahla wa jabala falam yubqa minhum ahada. So the water was like doing tawaf on even the plain, and or even around the like mountain, and there wasn't anyone left. So they were all drowned. And kazalikal kalamu fima tusabbibu anhu wa ta'aqibu. So it is saying that that was the reason. Reason was all their sins, right? And taqaba, and their end result, their punishment. So fa'udkhilu, meaning biqahril kahari fil akhirati allati awwaluha barzakh. So they enter barzakh. Yu'raduna, this is from irad, like to bring as a display. It is used that in Quran Pak that the Jannah will be brought as a display for believers. And the same case is hellfire will be brought too, right? So yu'raduna, so it will put in display fiha alan nari bukratam washiya. So in their barzakh, what's gonna happen? This nar is going to brought every morning and every evening. So subhanallah, what a punishment that they know they are going to burn in hellfire. So this fear, like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not letting it go. So every morning and every evening, how long they are already in their graves and how long are they gonna still stay. So every morning and every evening they are tasting that hellfire. May Allah save us from hellfire and even from the look of it. So this is basically beautiful. And then it says Qala Sheikhu Waliyuddin Malvi. So this is Sheikh Waliyuddin Malvi says that fa'uzzibu. So again they will be given azab fit dunya bil gharki. So in dunya they were drowned. Wa fil akhirati bil harki. Hark is like burning. So in akhirah there will be burning. And wa ilyasi min ar-rahma, so like completely despair from the rahma of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wa ayyu azabin ashaddu min zalika. And then the haq says fi halatin wahida, this is one hala, meaning like drowning and burning is happening at the same time. So this is, it says fi halatin wahidatin kama yaghraquna fil ma'i min janibi wa yahtariquna fil ma'i min janibi. So from one side they were drowning and on the other side they were burning. Subhanallah, bi qudratillahi subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is the qudra of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He can do whatever, right? So fi dalalati ala qawli ghayrihi ala azabil qabr. And whatever they will see in qabr, that is altogether different. May Allah save from all kinds of punishment, and may Allah take us from this world when we are in best of ibadah and in best of our iman, inshallah. And then another beautiful explanation is about naran. So naran is common used over here as compared to anar. So it could be faudkhilu annara, right? But naran is used. So it is said that this is because of ta'zim. Ta'zim is like it is magnifying it. So nakira is sometimes show the grandeur of something. So they will enter a great fire or some special fire. So specially created for them, a special brand of fire will be created for them, as they were the very first nation to reject their messenger. Yes, so this is the very first crime. Like this is the legacy of them, that no one has rejected their messenger, because Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam was basically the first messenger. Hazrat Adam alayhi salam, there wasn't any shirk or anything, right? So Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam basically was the first messenger, who warned people against shirk, and their nation was rejecting. So basically, they were leaving the legacy of rejecting the messenger. So that's why that graphic punishment is given to them, because they were the kind of inventing that rejection of messengers. Then about Yajidu referring that on the day of judgment, they will be looking and trying to find these idols for help, but lost them. So on the day of judgment, they would look for all these idols, because what was their belief? That these idols can save them from any kind of calamity. So on the day of judgment, they would be looking for these idols that they might help. And the nation of Nuh al-Islam, as well as the kuffar of Arabia, claimed that these idols will aid them. Okay, so now another thing is about anfusahum or lahum. So it is said that falam yajidu anfusahum could be used over here, right? So they will not find anyone for themselves. So anfusa could have been used, but lahum is used instead. Like it is like anfusa themselves. Like it is not given even their dignity to them to use anfus over here, because our limbs and body and our soul is basically a creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they want to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In this world, they are in our control, right? Kind of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the option that we can use as we are. But on the day of judgment, they can be, they will be, or they can be standing against us, right? Our limbs and our body, they are going to complain that these people were abusing or misusing us, right? So basically, this is the idea over here, that lahum is used and anfus is not used. So this privilege is taken from them. Then min dunillahi, meaning beneath or less or lowly than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So falam yajidu lahum min dunillahi. So whatever is other than Allah is lowly, right? And it's not going to be any benefit. So basically, this is highlighting the grandeur of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the word min dunillahi. So all beside Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is beneath. Nothing is equaling to him. Under his status or shade, everything else is nothing. His rutba is greater than anyone. And then dunillah could have been used, which is fine. So min can be reduced over here. Falam yajidu lahum dunillahi. But min is kind of brought over here, which is meaning min is being added specially for Quraysh. That there is not, because min is giving the meaning of any over here. So basically, it brought for Quraysh that there is not going to be any kind of help that day. Because they used to think that these idols could be any help to them. And this is the lesson for us too, right? We think that, okay, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is going to do our shafa, or the saint is going to do shafa for us, or maybe like anyone else we can think of that, okay, that might be shafa for us. But no, only shafa is going to be happening only if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us. So we cannot rely on anyone but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then the word, wow, I was thinking that it will be short lesson today, but no, okay. So now, interesting thing about Ansar over here. So basically this is Nasir and Nasir, as I said. So, and the plural for both of them is Ansar. And the other words for helper in Quran Pak are used as Wali or Maula, Hawari, Zahir, or Masa'id. Why Ansar is used over here? So as I said that this is the plural of Nasir and Nasir. And now what is Nasir? Who is Nasir? So Nasir means someone is helping now. So this is ism file, right? Ism file is immediate helper or active participle, right? So if I'm helping you now, so I am Nasir. If I want to help you, so I am helpful person, right? But then it is not Nasir, but Nasir. I want to help you, but I might not be helping you right now, right? So this is Nasir. So Nasir is dormant quality. Like I want to, but not displaying it, right? So that is Nasir. So they will neither find any Nasir or Nasir. So no immediate helper or hopeful helper or potential helper they can have. And then about the word Nusra. Nusra mean help or aid someone under attack. Like someone is under attack and you help that person, that is Nusra. Against enemy or like against any oppressor, someone is abusing or suppressing someone and we help them, that would be Nusra. If I just say, okay, please do me a favor, can you bring this glass of water or this, give me this pen or whatever, small any kind of deed, this is not Nusra. This is just any help, right? But not Nusra. Nusra is when it is done against some oppression or some attack. So that's why in Quran Pak, when we see Iza Ja'a Nasrullah, so Nasr over here is used. Why? Because it was the help against Quraysh over kind of oppressor and enemy of Islam, right? And Nasar al-Ghaisul Arda, and this expression is used. The rain helped the land cause the cause and gain the life and life. Basically, this ghais, the rain is considered as nusra. So this because rain gives life, right? Rain is considered a special kind of nusra in Arabic literature. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala offered them rain in the beginning, and at the end, the same rain which was supposed to give them life, because of their became the cause of their death and destruction. So if the rain was giving life, then Nusra would have been used and coming from Nasir. But since it is coming from someone who is going to destroy them, so they couldn't or will not find any Nasir, is said over here. Okay, so rain is considered as a Nusra, like the one that is giving life, and they were like given a chance. وَيُرْسِلِ السَّمَاءَ عَلَيْكُمْ مِدْرَارًا, right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala offered them that they can fix themselves, and then they are going to have midrar, rain over there, but they like they didn't budge. And then what happened? The same rain became their distraction, and now they are not going to have any Nasir or any Nasir. So no Ansara for them. Lesson for us is in the beginning, this water or the rain was a mercy, but then same water became their punishment. So gifts of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can be turned into destruction. Ayat of Quran is the blessing and the gift of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? Risk, money, children, they all are gift. But if we abuse them, they became curse. So Quran, which is the gift of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? So it can be hujjah for us or against us. Children are gift if we raise them correctly, or they can drag us to the hellfire. Winds are gift. They give life, they give comfort, they pollinate plants, and they give the plant life, but they can turn into tornado too, right? So water is supposed to give life. When we do not respect it, it can cause destruction. Over here in Surah Mursalat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Wal mursalati urfa fal asfati asfa. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is swearing in these two first ayah. And this is showing the destruction. One nashirati nashra and fal fariqati farqa. And then next two are showing that how the winds can be blessing, right? So the same thing, the same gift can be the blessing or curse for us. So depend how we take them. So Ansar is used over here is saying that there is no way that this rain can bring life, but it is going to be only destruction for them. So no one protect or guard us against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We think that, okay, sometimes these different things we use, right? Some taweez people use, or these evil eye stone, right? All these kind of things. Even Quran Pak, we use Quran Pak. We are hanging part of Quran Pak and thinking that, okay, especially in our cars. So we hang them and we think that, okay, we are all safe because of this Quran Pak, right? But this is not the case. The protection comes only from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, now our next ayah, waqala, and he said, Nuhun, Nuh. So Nuh alayhi salam is saying, Rabbi. So again, this is Ya Rabbi. So Ya is mazuf over here, my Lord. La tazar, do not leave, abandon, alal ardi, on earth, minal kafirina, from these kafirin, dayara, any single one. So qala, we know this is fil madi, file is huwa, and nuhun is our outside doer in this case. So file is our nuhun over here. And then Rabbi is munada, and ya is mahzuf over here. And this la is called la talabiya lidua. So this la is used as a dua over here. La tazar alal ardi. And tazar is wazara yaziru. Yeah, we will see that in a bit. So this is fi'l mudari majzoom. And then alal ardi is our jar majroor. And this is our MBF. And minal kafirina is again, this is we can take it as a jar majroor, and it says this is hal of the yara, and the yara is our maf'ul over here. Okay, we're going after listening to all that explanation, inshallah, this extract over here will make sense to you guys. So we will see at the end then. Okay, so now dara yaduru dauran. So when something goes around and finish where it started like a tawaf. So dara yaduru, basically literally going around and round, going back and forth, is called dara yaduru. So constructing, because back then people used to construct their own houses, right? So construction is over there. going back and forth, because when we are constructing, we go back, we get the material and we come back, we build, then we need more material. So this keep going on, right? People used to, okay, so basically dara yaduru mean actively used house. So people move around the house, that is called daura. And the yaran is, the scholar says that it is used in negative emotion. So basically it is saying not even a single one. So the yar, they say that in negative sense mostly it is used. Then it says the advurun or adurun. So there are two kind of pronunciation, advurun or adurun for, and then the yaran is basically this is sigatul mubalagha over here. So as I said that there are some plural are normal plural, like when we have these sound plural, we can take them as a normal plural, and then weak one we can take as a when some has like broken plural, and this sound plural too, right? So then this sound plural would be considered as a weak, and the broken plural will be taken as a super masculine plural, as I said before. Then this dayaran, it is said that it's on the pattern, this is mubalagha, but this is not fa'alan pattern, rather it is fa'alun pattern. So, and the pronunciation basically it says that it could be dayurun, daywaran, or dawaran. And the same thing is the word mayyat. So basically it was mavit, and from mavit on the pattern of fa'il it became mayyat. So okay, now fa'alun pattern over here, like the yaran fa'alan pattern, this is basically referring to quantity, one who is busy doing a lot of activities. If it was fa'alan, right, fa'alan is also mubalagha. So if it was fa'alan, it is professional reputation, right? Like we know hubbaz, or we know the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ghaffar, right? The one who like forgive over and over. So hubbaz is the one who is baking over and over. So basic, but this baking has the quality in it, right? And but this fa'al has basically quantity in it. Then the word ahad, ahadan could have been used over here, or basically this dayaran is giving the meaning of ahadan over here. Some scholar says that it means anyone. So any inhabitant or the living person. I don't want any inhabitant escape the punishment. Basically, Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam is saying that La tazar, you did not, you talking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that please do not leave or abandon anyone minal kafirina dayara, not even a single person. Then the yaran, as I already said that in the meaning of wahidan, and so Mawardi says that the yara can be looked in two ways: a single person, or do not spare anybody on the earth walking. And another interesting word, implication over here, it says la tazar alal ardi instead of la tazar fil ardi. Right, fil ardi could have been used, but alal ardi is used. So the scholar says that Allah Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam is saying that fil ardi, in the earth. So do not leave anyone over the earth. In the earth is fine. Okay, so inside the earth, like they are buried in the earth, that is fine, but do not leave anyone alal ardi, over the earth walking. So it's narrated that before this dua of Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala already planned the punishment. And since last 40, 70 years, some say 40 and some say 70 years, that the mother were not able to bear the pregnancy, as I said before. So this is saying that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala already planned, and he doesn't want kids to be this part of this distraction, part of this punishment. So he just made the plan that way, that there are no children. And then Bakai says that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already decreed punishment for them, and he waited until came from Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam's mouth. So as a regard, as a respect for him, or so it became a seal to the deal. So it was already there. So when Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam said it, so now it's a seal to the deal. And then so it says over here that basically, so قال نوح ربي لا تذر على الأرض من الكافرين ديارا اختلفوا في سبب دعاء نوح على قومه بهذا على القولين أحدهما أنه لما نزلت عليها قوله تعالى. So these are the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala which are already revealed. What were the words? لن يؤمنوا من قومك إلا من قد آمن. So no one is going to believe min qawmika, from your nation, illa man qad amana, except those who have already accepted. So whatever few people accepted Islam with you, they are the only one. So no one else is going to believe, basically. So this is the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that's why it says that it's not the dua of Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam, rather it was already decreed for them. And then this is the incident that I was talking, that this boy hit Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam with the rock, and it says that this is when he made this dua, but it says it's very weak narration over here. And then again it says that over here وَأَنَّهُمْ, why Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam made this dua, and again because it was a revelation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, annahum lam yalidu illa fajiran kafara. So they are not going to give birth but to fajir and kuffar. So there wasn't any hope that from their progeny, from their kids, there is going to be any believer or anyone, but it says that because they are going to raise their kids the way they are, right? So there wasn't any hope that there is going to be any beneficial zurriyat out of them. And then some words in other places in Surah Hud, it says Ya Nuhu. So this is the nation of Nuh talking to him. Ya Nuhu, qad jadaltana fa'aktharta jidalana fa'tina bima ta'iduna. You argue with us a lot. Go and get whatever you are promising us. So go and bring the punishment, basically they are saying. And then كذبت قبلهم قوم نوح فكذبوا عبدنا وقالوا Majnoonun was the jur. So same thing that Quraysh used to call Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So same, they are kind of rejecting. So this is the very first rejection to Abdina. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying our Abd. They rejected. Waqalu Majnoonun was the jur. So he is Majnoon, he is insane. And then Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam made this dua. فَدَعَا رَبَّهُ أَنِّي مَغْلُوبٌ فَانْتَصِرْ. Okay, and then what's the difference between Bait and Dar? So it says, and there are many different words used in Quran Pak, sakana, maskan, or magana, or maqam, or all these words. And Bait is, it said basically, Bait, we see in Quran Pak, yubayituna. So they are plotting at night, right? So Bait is basically the place where you spend night. So if there is any second home where you do not spend night, then this is not Bait for you. So Bait is specifically a house in Arabic when you are spending your night there. And then there are different words for Bait over here. And Dar is that's something you going round and round. Even within the house, we go between kitchen and family room or to our own bedroom, right? So this is all Dar. So we are going back and forth. Okay, so then Bakai is saying about Lataza, right? So in previous ayat, we see that they use the same word, Latazarun alihatakum, right? Do not, you dare not leave these alihat. So Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam used the same word. So they were saying that as long as you stick to these gods, you are all safe, right? So Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam is saying that since they did not let go their false god, do not spare them. And then Wazara, we know that Wazara is something that you just scraped off, right? The bad piece of flesh, any infected area that you just scrap off. That was Wazara, right? So ignore, abandon. So this is something worthless, right? So do not let them escape. And then Ya is dropped, which is showing the manners. It says in Arabic, Ya is dropped when it is it shows the great manners. And we know that Ya is used to grab someone's attention too, right? So it's already look like that Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam already have enough attention of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he did not use Ya over there. And then he's saying that, Ya Rabbi, do not leave anyone in any shape or form, like injured or somehow they can survive, right? So he does not want anyone survive out of this punishment. So no matter wherever they are on the land, in the east, in the west, over the mountain or under the mountain or wherever, right? So he just want them to be like part of this punishment and done. And then this minal kafirina over here, it is like they were rasikhin. This word is used for in Quran Pak for believers to ar-rasikhuna fil ilm. So they are very like strong in their ilm, in their knowledge. So over here it is used for kafirin. Kafirin is basically rasikhin in kufr. So deep rooted in kufr. So ism is used over here. So again, it became the sifa of them. So kufar is their sifa. And kafir is the one who recognizes the truth and then deliberately denies it. So they buried or hid the truth. And then waw is used in waqala, because it's standalone conversation. Okay, so I think this the wow over here is they're supposed to be wow over here. Waqala Nuhu Rabbi. So it is saying that wow is over here because it is showing that that when we have dialogue, so it says qala qala qala. There isn't wow in between them when we have dialogue. When two people are talking, so first qala is for the first person. When you see second qala, that should be the second person and then first person. So this is how it goes, and that tells in Arabic that this is the dialogue. But when you see wow in between, so that should be the indication that this thing or these words are said in some other occasion, in some other event. So this is not part of this conversation right now. So it says that basically this wow over here is indicating that that was a separate event when it is said. Okay. And then it says al-ard over here. So al-ard referring to the whole earth, as there was only his nation on that earth at that time, right? So some can argue, why did he make this intense dua against his nation? Is it allowed for Prophet to make such dua? So Shinketi is saying that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already inspired him that whoever has attained, we saw that ayah, right? That whoever has attained Iman, that's it, and no more people will accept the message. So this is not the words of Nuh alayhi salam, rather that was the decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then Nuh alayhi salam is not saying anything on his behalf, rather Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed on him. And we know that Ibrahim alayhi salam born in the house of idol maker, right? But he was Hanif, and he got a title of being Khalil of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So how come that graphic dua is made over here? Maybe their progeny could have there might be some Hanif or some Muslim in that household, but since Allah out of his hikmah and knowledge, he knows, and he said that they are not going to benefit, right? So we see in the Quran Pak many wrongdoing nations are mentioned, like Saleh, Lut, Pharaoh, even Quraysh, but no prophet made such a graphic dua against his people. Why? First, they are made an ayah to all the nations to come. So this is the one thing, that their punishment is the ayah for everyone after them. And they were the first one to reject their prophets. That was their basic crime, as I said before. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that they lied against Rusul. So even though in one ayah it says kazabat rusuluhum, kazabat qawmu nuhun rusulun, something like that is said in this ayah, which is referring to that they rejected Rasul. But the case is that there was only Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam, right? So they didn't rejected any other Rasul but Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying Rasul. So basically it is referring that they are the first one who left this legacy, and then people followed along, right? So this is how basically, that when you do any crime and people are taking effect, then you have your share in it. And we know that the first murder happened on earth. So now how many murder happened after it, this person is going to have all these share, right? So basically this is what it is. So they have it's like they have rejected the messengers, because they rejected just one, but it's look like they rejected all of them. So this very first, and they were the very first prey of Shaitan, right? And this very first prey of Shaitan taught him how to manipulate and deceive people. So basically, that was the very first experience for Shaitan. And these people fell prey of Shaitan very easily. And now Shaitan know how to manipulate and deceive people, right? So they were his first client, and he carried that legacy to other nations after misleading them, because he knew how it worked, right? So it worked with the Nuh al-Islam's nation, even though he preached 950 years. So that was the formula for him, and he used this formula for other nations to indulge them in shirk. So Prophet Muhammad was the last prophet and the prophet for the whole mankind. If he was denied, then no human being would be alive on the earth, right? So basically, the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala let Makkah conquered was his huge favor on mankind. So all other prophets, few followers, and eventually their generation couldn't keep the religion. So for other prophets, when they were alive, so people, they have a few followers, and when he is done, he has died, then after a while people go back to their kufar or whatnot, right? So then next prophet came, and because these prophets were only for the particular nations, but Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was for the whole mankind. So imagine if his nation was punished, then what could happen? No more people on the earth. That's it. That was done, right? So that is the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that he made Makkah conquered. He helped believers, and he helped Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to spread Islam. So that was his special mercy on us. And then we have a beautiful ayat from Surah Qamar, which is referring to the same incident, or talking about Hazrat Nuh al-Islam and his nation. So it says, كَذَّبَتْ قَبْلَهُمْ قَوْمُ نُوحٍ فَكَذَّبُوا عَبْدَنَا وَقَالُوا مَجْنُونٌ وَازْدَجَرَ بِسَادِسِ آيَةٍ فَدَعَا رَبَّهُ أَنِّي مَغْلُوبٌ فَانتَصِرْ. And then it is saying that how they were punished. So فَفَتَحْنَا أَبْوَابَ السَّمَاءِ. So the doors of sky were opened. بِمَاءٍ مُنْهَمِرٍ. And the water, this rain, was pouring like never ending. وَفَجَّرْنَا الْأَرْضَ عُيُونًا. And to gush out from them uyun. فَالْتَقَى الْمَاءُ عَلَى الْأَمْرِ قَدْ قُدِرَ. And the waters met for a matter already predestined. So basically, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we can see that that was the planning of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That was the decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which already destined for them. And then this beautiful ayah over here, وَحَمَلْنَاهُ. And we carried ala zati alwahin wa dusur. Beautiful. I love this ayah. It's saying that they were carried on planks and nails. So alwa is planks and dusur is nails. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not calling that sheep even. He's calling plank and nails. So basically he's saying that the sheep or anything else is not the source of protection or source of rescue. Rather, this is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who rescue anyone. So they were just on planks and nails, and that was Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who give them security and let them sail on a safe place. Tajri bi ayunina jaza'an liman kana kufir. So sailing under our observation as reward for the for he who had been denied. So basically Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that's very safely within our observation. They were kind of helped and they were rescued because he was the one who was denied, Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam. وَلَقَدْ تَرَكْنَاهَا آيَاتًا فَهَلْ مِن مُدَّكِرٍ. And we left as a sign, so there is anyone who will remember. So what is this ayah sign? This all these punishment is ayah for us. The Nuh of nation Nuh of nation of Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam is an ayah for us. So we take heed from it, we take lesson from it, right? فَكَيْفَ كَانَ عَذَابِي وَنُذُرِ. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is asking that, you see how severe was my punishment and my warning. وَلَقَدْ يَسَّرْنَا الْقُرْآنَ لِلذِّكْرِ فَهَلْ مِن مُدَّكِرٍ. Beautiful ayah, we know this ayah, right? So I have made Quran very easy, and we know that this zikr is anything related to Quran, right? Taking lesson from it, pondering over it, and fixing your life, and memorization, recitation, anything regarding Quran. Fahal min muddakir. So is there anyone who is going to give a little, put a little effort to it? So now ayah is lesson. Put some effort into it, into its remembrance. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is comparing the task of Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam. What was his task? He preached 950 years. How وَلَقَدْ يَسَّرْنَا الْقُرْآنَ لِلذِّكْرِ فَهَلْ مِن مُدَّكِرٍ. We are, these ayat were talking about Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam's nation, right? How they are punished. And then suddenly this Quran has come. So what is basically the relation between it? So it is saying that there is a comparison between Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam's mission and Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam's mission. So Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam has to preach 950 years, and the time period for Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was only 23 years time period, right? So we can see that which one is easier. And then Quran itself is easy, miraculous, right? We know that it has so much melody, and it touched the heart, even though people do not understand, but still they get attraction and they feel something in their heart when they hear Quran Pak, when they listen to Quran Pak, right? So it has some miraculous effect on people's heart. So, and it's very easy to imprint in our minds, right? Because it rhymes, so easily we can kind of memorization is very easy because it can easily imprint. And you know that many ayah like Inna Allah bima ta'maluna khabir, or Inna Allah bima ta'maluna basir, or Inna Allah ala kulli shayin qadir, and many ayah that are oftenly repeated one. They are even though these Quraysh, they were not listening to Quran very oftenly, but they were people of the Arabic language, right? So, and they were listening to Quran here and there. So these ayah must be echoing in their minds, right? Because they has, if we see many events in Sirah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that whenever they heard Quran, and even people sometimes they try to listen to the Quran secretly, right? So these ayat, basically it says that these repeated ayat, if we collect them, they are the theology of Islam, basically. So only these ayat, we can think, Inna Allah bima ta'maluna khabir. So indeed, Allah Ta'ala know what we are doing. Only if we just ponder on this ayah, then we can fix ourselves so easily, right? So no problem at all. So these even oftenly you recited these ayat in Quran Pak, they are the theology of Islam basically, and they have their own effect in our hearts. So basically, that was all about it. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that Quran as compared to the mission of Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam, you are blessed that you are given Quran, and that seems like an easy task than Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam. So beautiful ayat, subhanallah. With that, inshallah, we are going to conclude our session. Barakallahu li wa lakum fil Qur'anil Hakim wa nafani wa iyyakum bi ayati wa dhikril hakim. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta wa nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilaik.